sit at the piano with my dear dad, but he never taught me how to play. He would carry on about days long gone, and he always stayed far away. I try so hard.
44. Let me hear the FET. I mean the D12 with the RE20. So remove the 44.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are you asking?
What's a drum tonal? Or a house, or what's going on here?
We're just building a house. It's just that, you know, to contain the drum, the kick. Like if I just was doing something where like 3 microphones and it was a live situation like that, and I didn't want such presence, and I just wanted the drum, I just leave it all open. But because I really want that boom of the kick, and the kick is so big, it, you know, travels all over the place. So I'm trying to contain it. Everything sounds great. I'm happy with everything. Just the snare. I just want it to be a little more magical, a little more special.
Yeah.
Can you get the Terminator too, please? Working with Bill Bottrell, really, I worked with him on this album I did called In Flight. And I could care less about drums and other instruments, but when I worked with him, he taught me a lot unknowingly. But I was just really focused on, because I just came from a band that, you know, is so generic sounding, the sounds. And then when I worked with Bill, like everything had just very, like the drums sounded like, well, that's cool. I like that sound. It kind of has an old thing, and so whatever, you know, what. And I'd start paying attention. I knew nothing about recording or anything. But I noticed the sounds because they were just so good. They were so pretty to me, you know. And had such a great vibe, so I just paid attention, and that's really where I started, you know, learning stuff. And he was so helpful, and was, you know, gave me information and showed me things and taught me things. And I spent 3 months with him making this record, and I learned so much. It's like I just, like, part of it had nothing really to do with the record anymore for me. It was more about, for some reason, I just got sucked into, like, the sound, because I hated the sound of the Four Non Blondes record. I mean, despised it, but I had no idea why. The drum sounds so, everything sounds so like, you know, it thin and small and annoying. So Bill's sound was fat, warm, and I knew I like that. It's like figuring out that you like Chinese food, you know. It's like I heard this thing and I was like, I like that. But do something even crazier, like, I don't know, like going to Wipeout, or go, you know what I mean, like just all of a sudden you're Dick Dale, like, I don't know, like,
okay, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just hear what that sounds like. So out of the second chorus into that. Well, with drums, I'm very meticulous because, you know, there's so many elements to them, like, you know, like if you have a tom that's ringing out of tune, it will affect everything. It'll affect a vocal, it'll affect a bass, it'll affect everything. So I listen to, for both, I listen to getting the sound that I want, because I hear sounds in my head. I'll hear the kind of snare I want, or the kind of kick. And as I'm getting that sound, you know, you have to fix the things that, you know, become problems. So if I want a very tight snare sound and I have a ringing one, You know, there's many things that you can do. Like there's many ways to deaden your snare. It's just finding the right one that fits for the song, because ultimately it's all about the song. It's what is going to make the best drum sound for the song. Do you hear that ring? There's like an overtone in there that's ringing out in the kick. Just a tiny something. I don't know if it's in front or in the back. That was it's a reissue Gretsch vintage gold 24 set. So it's like they reissued like their badge, you know. And Gretsch is, you know, they make great drum sets. Most important thing is the player. Second is the drum tuning. And then 3 is the, you know, just the making sure you have, you know, a good sound, you know. So it's player, most important. Sound can sacrifice as long as you have a great player, and then the player plays a good sounding drum. You know, you don't give them some rinky dinky crappy thing, and then you're just recording it decently. You know, if I want to use that kick drum, and because I like the character of it, but it's not in the right tuning, I just have to find the tuning. Like the snare is like more crazier, instead of just tuning it, you know, keeping it managed, maybe open it up and get a cool ring out of it. It's just making sure that everything is cohesive. Like I have to have, you know, like it's got to go boom boom, you know, like, or the snare has to ring out a certain way. So I put so much detail into making sure the toms sounded right, and they were in tune with the bass and the piano, and then you put it on, and then it's like it mixes itself. You know, it's like when you got all the sounds right, it just plays itself, it mixes itself, it does everything on its own. You know, so it's like that's what's great about it. You know, and it is those details. But honestly, most people probably, you know, who really cares? You know, again, these are just me. You know what I mean? Somebody else will have a completely different opinion on drum sounds or mixing or whatever. It's just, you know, that's the beauty of who we are as artists. We have our own ears. You don't have these. You can do exactly, you know, we can do exactly the same thing, but we won't create the same sound because you don't have this and I don't have yours. Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
So give me different variations of that.
Cool.
The room, it's the player, it's the drum set, it's the microphone, it's the producer, the engineer. Is it carpeted? Is it wood? You know, like there's so many. Like, how big is the space? Is it short? I mean, is it small, big?
And then you had a lot of mics on the drums. How many were there?
I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's a lot for me. I've just learned over the years that drums, to me, are the most important thing in a song, because, you know, it's the glue, it's the groove, it's the sound. Like if you have a weird drum sound on a great song, it's going to ruin it. So I'm a songwriter, you know, so that's what it comes down to. I'm a songwriter, so I'm paying attention to the song. Exactly.
Cool.
That's totally cool.